Hello everyone, and welcome to Infinite Magicraid. So this is a new game that I've been playing for a couple days now, and wanted to kind of make a video on it, maybe even get into making more videos on it. So in this video, what we're going to do is basically pull some wishes and get some different commanders for this game. This game, if you've ever played Raid Shadow Legends, it's pretty similar to that kind of game, and that kind of, collect the characters, play the game, and also have some basically idle rewards that you get occasionally over time as you play the game. So some of the heroes in this game, there's going to be legendary, epics, regular, and then there's also going to be basically your mythic tier where you get up into like the best of the best kind of commanders in this game. You're going to get all these different commanders through the idle rewards. You'll also claim commanders through that way. You can wish in this game. There is also the biggest thing in this game is going to be equipment, because there's a lot of different equipment that you can get for basically the different types of commanders that you can get, or basically the characters that you can get. So there's like attack captains, commanders, there's defense equipment, there's going to be support equipment. I have a lot of some of this stuff already. HP equipment, speed equipment, there's probably some critical hit equipment. There's a lot of different equipment that you can basically upgrade. There's even leech, some mastery, some different things that you will get throughout the game as you are battling through the campaign and going through like the different tiers of like normal, hard, and then there's like even harder and things like that that you can go through to get different equipment and improve your commanders, do better, beat more different people. There's also an arena, some things like that. Some other different things about this game is there's going to be ways to awaken them, which is basically starring them up to a higher level that you can max their level higher. This is my first legendary in this game so far. I will pull about enough to get at least a guaranteed another legendary around the mid part of this video, and then we'll kind of show you some of the gameplay on this video and things like that. There is also some other ways to improve your commanders. There's basically kind of like your equipment for the commander that they kind of come with that you can also upgrade. There's different talents on this thing that you can also do depending on what your commander is. This is an attack, force mark, and wizard eye. There's going to be even some basically like undead kind of creatures and commanders in this game. Attack, there's your tank, there's your support. Some of these guys also heal. This person heals, which is really, really nice. There's also basically like your critical late, attacking kind of commanders. There's your different kind of skills. Basically, in this game, you can also do skill upgrades. Basically, it's going to randomly apply the skills to any one of these. There's no skill lock, things like that. I think that's something that they could definitely add, a skill lock, so you can max out maybe the attack one, or if you wanted to go for some of the different types of skills on this instead of having to just randomly get it. But I kind of understand why they randomly did it, because it's not really like in Rise of Kingdoms where you have a primary skill. It's more just secondary skills that increase your stats and do some extra different things depending on the commander they are. Some of them may do like an inflict the bleed. Some will also do heal. This one does like a basically heals, and then I think it increases your turns that you can do faster turns with your other different commanders on your team. And you want to kind of do your setup where you have your tank in the front, your DPS and support in the back, and your highest level commanders usually should be up front because they have more HP, the better equipment, and things like that, especially at the start of the game. That's the kind of thing that you want to do in this game. You will also be able to craft commanders, which basically you can. I can't do any right now, but when we get the pulls, I'll show you how we do that. Basically, it's starring up your commanders so that you can star them up to 2-star, 3-star, 5-star, and then once you get them up to a certain degree, you can awaken them, which you use basically the same 5-star hero to awaken them. I can actually awaken this character. I can use these two heroes because I don't technically need them anymore, but I'm going to wait to do that until I have basically pulled the legendaries that I really want. Maybe a mythic character. We'll have to see what we get in these pulls, but that is kind of what this game is about. I'll go ahead and do my pulls, and then we'll kind of show you some of the gameplay in this game so you can kind of get a feel for what it's like. What I was kind of saying earlier, it's similar to Raid, Shadow Legends, but it's a little bit different in the way it's set up. So we'll go ahead and do a normal refined wish, because there are 4 different types of wishes. There's the refined wishes, which is kind of like your regular wishes. There's the excellent wishes, which is like your basically the highest chance of getting a legendary, the second highest chance. And then there's supreme wishes, which is even higher for legendaries. And then there's a miracle wish, which I'm not sure it's better than the supreme wish. I think it's just more of an event kind of wish where you get a certain character or commander that you're really wanting, and you can get that depending on what they're going to release on that certain type of wish. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the refined wish. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the settings and do a little bit of music so you can hear kind of what it sounds like as you do some of this stuff throughout the game. Also do the gameplay and you can kind of hear that. So we're going to see what we get pulled here. I think it's like 10 pulls for each. These are just common commanders that you can kind of get when you're playing the game. Nothing too crazy here, but I do have enough excellent wishes to go ahead and get a guaranteed legendary hero from this. So we'll see how many legendaries we get. We're going to go ahead and get started though and see what we can get. I hope to get a couple legendaries from this since I've got so many. And we got an epic and no legendary yet, but we did get a epic hero. You're going to want to start off with epics until you can fill basically your different characters off with legendaries. Another epic, unfortunately no legendary, but the more epics you get, basically you can start up your legendaries with epic heroes, which is really nice and helps you out, which is one thing I do like about this game. Another epic hero, but we're going to keep pulling. We still have 4 more times we can do this. You get a guaranteed epic or legendary, I think, per time that you do this. And it's probably the best type of wish to do right now is this one right here, because you basically get a guarantee or pity when you do a pull. So we're getting pretty close to the end here. Another epic, no legendary. We're going to do 2 more of these and see what we get. Another epic, still no legendary, but on the next one we get a guaranteed legendary. If you're lucky enough, like me, like at the start of this, I did get 1 guaranteed legendary. I think you get that in like 10 pulls. First 10 pull or something like that, you can get a guaranteed legendary for these excellent wishes. But now I'm getting basically the pity one, and I'm going to get one here. Let's see what we get. Legendary wise, we're getting an old, like, I don't know if you've heard, like Aladdin kind of character. It says Alahan. I'm probably saying that wrong, but this is I think it's kind of a buffer support commander. So we'll see how that kind of goes, see if he sets in my setup, but legendary is definitely better than what I'm using right now. Some of the skills this guy's going to have is basically increasing your attack. He's also going to reduce the cooldown, kind of like what the epic commander I have already is going to do. He's going to heal, increase your attack, and also reduce the amount of turns it takes basically for you to do your special skills in the game so that you're doing really, really well. That is the guaranteed. Oh, I got 2 legendaries, which is really cool. So I got a little bit lucky there. I got 2 legendaries. This is an AoE damage and HP burning, so that's a little bit of special. He's an attack commander. He's a green mark and dragon tribe, so this is a little bit more of a special character. So this one deals 100% attack damage to an enemy and to random enemies with a 40% chance to inflict 1 layer of HP burning for 2 turns. So I guess in that deals damage over time kind of attack. And he's got some extra damage, which every layer of HP burning, kind of like a stacking burn on a character. And then he also deals more HP burning damage. So basically this is a big attack commander. So I actually got kind of lucky here and got 2 legendaries from a full 10 pull, which is pretty good. I will probably go ahead and add those to my collection and the ones I'm using right now after this video. Just want to show you what basically the gameplay is going to be like here. So we're going to go ahead and go to one of these videos on one of the games on this so far. There's also a very big story on this, so you can kind of read through this and see what the story is about, but I'm not going to spoil any of this for you so far, so we're just going to skip it for right now. But this is kind of the gameplay setup that you have. You have 5 commanders. The top 3 row is your front row. The 2 in the back is your back row. I would assume maybe later in the game you can maybe switch to like 3 in the back, 2 in the front, or 1 in the front, some things like that. I've seen other games do that. Wouldn't surprise me if there's a way to do that. I have not learned how to do that yet, and we will see in the future if we get something like that or I figure out how to do that. But basically the gameplay is there's a story with dragons and some things like that, and you can get into the lore a little bit more as you go through the game. but we're going to kind of just go through it really quickly because I want to get through the video, show you some of the gameplay, slow it down a little bit, and you can kind of see how it goes. Right now I've got an auto mode. These commanders are fairly high level, so it's going to be fairly easy for them to win. But when you start the game, you got basically your skills here on the bottom. You can hold down and see what they say and kind of what they're going to do. Some of these will have AoE skills. Some of these are going to have basically damage over time, like I was kind of talking about before. Some of them are going to buff you, gains 18% more effect hits. So he's going to do more damage every the next turn, things like that. But you're just going to click on the commanders that which skill you want to use, and then you basically click on which enemy you want to hit. The green above their head means basically super effective. Yellow is kind of just okay, and if it's red, it's not very effective. I'm sure some of you have seen some of this already. Some of these people are going to buff your different types of commanders. I'm going to go ahead and do a buff. Maybe this is a heal. I'm not 100% sure. It might be a random damage. I believe this is an AoE. We'll see what we get here and do some more of these and go ahead and probably just turn the auto on because I haven't read through all the skills and know which ones to use off the top of my head right now. So that was an AoE, which is really good. We'll go ahead and speed it up a little bit just to kind of show you the gameplay, what it's kind of like. Like I was saying, it's similar to Raid Shadow Legends, but it's a little bit different. And there's the big AoE for my Legendary Commander, which does a lot of damage since he is very high level for right now, since I'm only fighting level 45s. He's level 80. Another good thing about this game is you can do basically different offline things where you're basically like setting multiple battles that you can do in multi-battles, where you can upgrade your commanders and level them up without having to basically do too much. If you were like summoning heroes, doing some other things, you could have that running in the background while you're doing that. Or if you had to go somewhere and do something, you can have 10 of those running and then come back to it later and get some extra XP. Those generate every single day, and I'll go ahead and show you what those look like. But basically this is what you kind of things you're going to get. You're going to get some equipment, some experience, some gold, and some of these basically experience potions that you can use on your commanders. I would recommend saving those until you have your kind of your best team set up so far. But the different energy you have at the top here is basically going to be the regular energy, stamina, and then you have the multi-battle stamina, which resets every day. And that's the purple energy that I was kind of talking about, where you can basically click on one of these settings and go to a challenge. You click multi-battle, and then you set how many you want to do, which is really, really nice. And I enjoy that because it's easy to level up your commanders that way, because then you can go do something else. If you're a little bit busy doing something else, you come back to it later, a couple hours later, it's fully done. You get the experience, it levels up your commanders, and you get better and better collection. There's other things in this game that I would like to show to you right now, but some of it's still locked as I'm still early in this game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you download it and play it today. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.
Infinite Magicraid. Play to slay.